it's very important that you trust yourself and you trust your team, and also that we are focusing to solve the customer needs. So my name is Päivi, and I'm an entrepreneur and founder of Riskrate. My background is in markets and treasuries. Riskrate is actually the third company I've been a founder or co-founder. Riskrate is a predictive rating system done for SMBs, and we are a team of 3 people, 2 people working full-time and 1 advisor. So small and medium-sized businesses, so as we all know, so we are risk takers of our society. So problem Riskrate is solving is that when a small and medium-sized business is giving credit decision, so when they do credit sales and give payment time to a new B2B customer, so there we can help. Riskrate is very dynamic, it's predictive, and it's cost-efficient solution to small and medium-sized business to predict payment time of the customers. So Riskrate helps from the credit decision until the payment is done. So it's done for repeatable credit sales decisions for small and medium-sized businesses. Yeah, so how we see is that so small and medium-sized businesses are small companies, and they are small and they have small resources. At the same time, they are in response, like for instance, new places to work and taking care of their employees. They have small cash flows, and also their purchasing power is very small, and they are suffering about the late payment. And so that's really, so it's very important in my heart. I think it's very important to help these companies having this experience and acknowledge what we have on the team, not from the tech side, but also from the markets and risk. So that's why we will very, very, very important that we give our knowledge to help the small and medium-sized businesses. We are feeling sad about those, like for instance, restaurants and those companies and most small and medium-sized businesses and entrepreneurs who are suffering about this situation. I mean that in terms of the legal. So they suddenly came, so legal restrictions to run a business. But at the same time, when the corona hit, so we actually started to run like racing horses, because we knew that our solution can help these companies in the special time of this uncertainty. So we immediately started to call our customers through, and we updated this our next level solution to the all users, so that they can have a up-to-date and real-time information about their customer payment behavior, which helps in cash flow. And we added new features. Personally, and our team, so we believe that this time of uncertainty, actually, the more exceptional times, so there is more exceptional opportunities, and it's very important not to miss it. So we were so lucky that actually we had this, these new features where we just finished them before the corona hit. When it hit, so we had an idea that it will be the next pricing tier, so it will be priced higher, but because it will help small and medium-sized businesses, so that's why we just release it to companies. And so this time we are happy that Riskrate is available in these times of uncertainty, and I'm sure that we can help in the next months and next years much more. Like for instance, there are, like for instance, two use cases. So first one are those small and medium-sized businesses whose revenue is between, so let's say less than 4 million euros. So they can get our free version, gives up-to-date information and follow-up to email. And it tells in real time, and it predicts when their customer will pay the invoices. So it's the most real-time and most predictive system in the market right now. So it's very important that they know when the money will flow in, and they will get it easily to the email. Yeah. So that's the first thing. And second thing, or second use case, which we have seen, is that those companies like founders or CIOs who as investors, especially investors, they have also used this free Riskrate in board meetings because it gives up-to-date, predictive and dynamic situation without using any seconds to your report. And so it's always up-to-date. You can share that with your board or board meeting, right? Like for instance. So third use case is that so because Corona, it changed the situation really rapidly. So it means that the old rules, like for instance, old financial statements, doesn't work anymore. So this payment behavior is the first, and it's the weak signal how if there is changes in your customer risk. So Riskrate only also tells when you have a new customer, so you can see the payment terms and the payment delays and the predictions, and you can make the decision if it's good or not to make or give payment time to your customer, or is it easier to sell in advance payment. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So right now, the users who is so using ProCounter or NetVisor in Finland, but also we can download CSV files, and we are having also negotiations with new partners. So absolutely. So especially it doesn't really it's not dependence on your company size, because the risk is always the same. The smaller company, they faces much more risk than the bigger ones, because actually the bigger ones has much more opportunities to hedge and to cover the risk, like for instance having bank facilities or loans or something, but small and medium-sized businesses, the resources are really, really small. So there we can help, and we are more than happy to help. Just go to riskrate.io and do a new registration, and you will immediately know the payment and the risk of your current customers and new customers. Like others, we are more working remotely. So that's the biggest change. And also maybe the attitude as an entrepreneur. The entrepreneurs think the same, but it's very important that you trust yourself and you trust your team, and also that we are focusing to solve the customer needs. Everybody, I mean that the entrepreneurs especially, so all know what to do, I believe. Yeah. So, but also I can tell from our side. So, yes. So maybe it's just because we haven't, like for instance, had any public grants or anything. So it's important never to give up. So that's first thing, and trust yourself that it's always comes a new day to try again. Always comes a new day to try again. Because in longer term, you don't know if it's an obstacle or not. Because in longer term, so like for instance today, we might believe that, okay, we have it's the big obstacle, but in longer term, it can be positive, and in afterwards, you can be more than happy that things went like that. Like for instance, in hard times, you just have to work harder. When you have, and after when you are working harder and trying harder and moving forward, so your solution is getting better to serve your customer needs. We have been so grateful is this founder community and entrepreneur community. Like for instance, so now I'm sitting here in Startup Sauna. So this is house for Kiwas Accelerator, like for instance. So it's an awesome thing. So to being part of this kind of community, and the entrepreneurs are helping each other and having changing advisory and so on. And step by step, day by day, we are getting stronger culture here in Finland. And I think that's the best of all as an entrepreneur we can have, because that's the value any money can't give you. So I can tell you that without Kiwas, so we haven't been here. The roots of the whole story came up from summer of 2018. So we participated in Kiwas Accelerator. Andre and myself, we were participated in different teams. And at the end of the summer, we joined together. So I came by myself, and Andre was a member of another fintech team. And at the end of the summer, so we founded Riskrate. And also our advisor Jussi, he was accelerator, were participating in pitching event in Kotka. It's called Ship Festival. So I mean that Jussi was advisor in Ship Festival. We met him in there, and he also joined as our advisor to the team. So without Kiwas, we wouldn't be, and so it's an awesome how the great coaches and the founders and everything, we are so proud to be part of that. I believe that the attitude which encourages taking risks, so it's very important, and I think it comes when you are giving back and when you are paying forward. And that kind of culture, I think, and it's rising very heavily right now. And that's the best as an entrepreneur we could have. So having entrepreneur culture in Finland, a little bit more liberal, which encourages to taking risks, because we know that there is nobody who can give you it. It always comes from ourselves. It always comes a new day to try again. But also, if it wouldn't be easy, if it's easy, so it would have been already done. If you give up, you can't never win. And because we all have something, so it's on my heart. I mean that we have the passion, why we are doing what we are doing. And being humble. I mean that humble to learn new things and learn from your mistakes, but at the same time, not be afraid of that. I think you must be very humble and move on in the time of difficulties. You are the one who can solve this problem. And if you are an entrepreneur, if you are considering to be an entrepreneur, so join us.